Hi, Dana. It's Cheryl, your sister-in-law. I was just calling because Thanksgiving's coming up, and I know you said you'd cook, and you're a real good cook, but I figured it'd be nice for me to offer to bring something, since I'm coming late because I got that conjugal visit with Earl in prison beforehand. So I was thinking I could either bring my trout mac and cheese or I got I can make some popcorn shrimp stuffing, or what else? Crawfish mashed potatoes. Or y'all like my cheese bread. I can get that good Wonder Bread like y'all like in the Kraft singles. I normally go for the dollar store brand, but I know you're all a little bougier than I am. Just call me back and let me know since Thanksgiving's coming up real soon. Love you. Bye. This is Cheryl, your sister-in-law. Bye. And welcome back to another episode of Crips and Corks. I'm your host, DJ Powers, here with my co-host,
Paul, as usual. And you know what? I am kind of curious what the popcorn shrimp stuffing you said?
Yeah, I figured it would be like box stuffing, and she just took frozen popcorn shrimp and threw it in the stuffing.
It sounds kind of interesting.
You're allergic to shellfish. You can't eat
and
shrimp.
Also, the crawfish mashed potatoes might not be that bad because you get those Cajun potatoes. Make it like Cajun mashed potatoes.
No. It'd be like the box mashed potatoes. They come in a powder.
The box mashed potatoes are the worst.
Yes.
The absolute worst.
You have to remember this is Cheryl, so everything is she either got it at the dollar store or she got it from the Walmart grocery clearance bin.
That's so true. That's so true. And you know what? Having a single mom growing up, I did eat a lot of those instant mashed potatoes in a pouch. That did happen a lot, so I'm kind of scarred at this point from that. But there are ways to make that better. But I have to get right into what I tried this week, which was another culinary disaster.
Oh no. What else is new?
I tried Checkers for the first time this week.
Where's their Checkers?
In Maryland, where I'm from, when I went to visit my friend.
Yes.
It was awful. Don't Checkers. What are we doing? And I am someone who loves fast food, and the bar for food with me is not very high, as everyone at home knows. And it was just trash. Checkers, get your shit together. Their fries had some sort of weird, dairy taste to them. It was gross.
Ew.
Very gross. The burger was kind of okay, but at the same time, it was kind of giving those burgers you get in the high school cafeteria.
Like the dehydrated.
Yes. It was giving
because
that.
they cooked it and then they froze it and then they thawed it and recooked it, and so it's just kind of dehydrated.
Yeah, it was not great. So if anyone has had a better experience with Checkers, let us know below. But as of now, not impressed. Checkers is not the gig.
Now, have you ever been to a Hardee's?
I have not been to a Hardee's yet.
Because there's a Hardee's in Millvale. Mm-hmm. And I drive past it quite often. And I always go, I should stop there and just try the Hardee's.
We should do that sometime. We'll give the Hardee's a try and see if it's better than Checkers. Hopefully, praying to God it is.
Well, you're coming to my neck of the woods later on today for a field trip to the Sam's Club.
Yes.
So maybe afterwards we can go to the cemetery where my mother's buried and perform a seance. And then we can go to the Hardee's after, because it's right down the road.
Picture a Saturday, seance and Hardee's. Speaking of hard, how was your week?
Like you said, it was hard.
Yes.
No.
As I am very well aware.
I also did try something new, but I had a positive experience.
Okay.
This is not sponsored. I've heard a lot of good things about the Philips one-blade razor.
Okay.
And I got one because I've heard so many good things about it. And I shave every other day.
Yeah.
So that, because I have sensitive skin, so if I do shave every day, it gets agitated, but I hate the bristle on day 2.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people have been, and I've tried other electric razors, and they just don't really work all that well. Mm-hmm. And quite a few people have said, you need to try the Philips one-blade razor. Mm-hmm. So I broke down and I bought one yesterday.
Okay.
And let me tell you how well it works. I did not shave yesterday nor the day before, so we had 2 days of stubble.
Okay.
I did that thing, and I had such a clean shave. It was like I had done, like, razor, water, and shaving cream.
That's great. See, one blades make me nervous because I feel like they're sharper. And
No, it's not like that. It's not like
just
Sweeney Todd. It's
Yeah.
like an electric, and like that's the brand name is One Blade.
Oh, it's an electric razor?
Yes.
Oh, I thought you were going all Sweeney Todd.
No. Dan has
Barbershop.
one.
Okay. And is that like what you look like right now? Is that from the one
No,
blade?
I did shave today.
Okay. With the one blade.
No, like traditional shaving cream razor.
See, that's the problem with electric razors is they don't get close enough to the skin.
The One Blade, it did because I took it to the box last night and I tried it because I was sitting watching Netflix and I was like this and I couldn't take it anymore, so I was like, I'm gonna try it, and it actually worked. It wasn't like perfect, but it was pretty damn close.
Maybe I'll have to give that a try. A lot easier than shaving because I have to shave every other day too because God, that's what God did to me.
But see, I can never tell when it is like a shave day or a not shave day.
Oh, she said we're always beautiful.
I can tell, like with
Maybelline.
me, like you can, like my hair grows in dark, so you can tell.
Same, yeah.
I
You
can
can
never-
tell when I
I
haven't shaved.
can't.
Yes, you can.
No, there have been
Bitch,
times
get
when
outta
we've been
here.
over and it's like we're gonna go out and you're like, I have to shave, and I was like, oh, I thought you did shave today.
Girl, I know you're not walking up in my home.
Well,
because
I also-
I have the beard on day 2, for
Well,
sure.
I'm also legally blind in my left eye without my glasses on, so that could be
Well,
it.
I know about that with my lazy eye. I do know about that. Okay.
Is that your left eye too?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
My left eye is lazy, unfortunately. And that is why when I'm on dates with people, I try not to look them in the eyes. They can't see, like, I don't want them to see what they're actually getting until like day 2 or 3 when I've got one eye looking at them and the other eye is looking at the waiter on the other side of the room.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Now, are you going to talk about your other hardship throughout this week?
What was
that
that?
we experienced together, that journey, the DJ's power. His fucking battery died in his car.
Oh my god, I wasn't gonna bring this. I forgot about it. Yes.
Yes, we had to go on an adventure. We got off work and his car died. And
What?
so we went on an adventure.
Oh my god. I had far more of an adventure than you did.
Yeah.
But yes, Paul and I were going to. There was no Uncorked this month. We now realize.
Well, there still might be. Maybe
There
we'll
still
film
might
something.
be.
Who knows?
Well, it is November 2nd.
Right. There's
Today.
still plenty
And
of
this
time.
is coming out the Sunday before Thanksgiving. So they're 3
Right.
weeks in.
Right.
But yeah, so we were going to record Uncorked after work because we were both in the office. And we go to my car. And first of all, it had given me problems locking it before work. And I hadn't realized that the front passenger door did not lock. And Paul just opened and set the alarm off. Mm-hmm. So then we had to spend like half an hour playing, okay, is this the theft deterrent not letting my car stop, or is the battery actually dead?
And spoiler alert.
The battery was dead.
Yes.
So we caught an Uber back to Paul's house, and he drove me back down there so we could try it again, in case it was the theft deterrent, which it was not. Which I should have known because I did not buy a theft deterrent program.
That's true. That's true.
But you never know, like, what's built in.
That's true. We don't know anything about technology, so
No.
especially auto.
And I did Google, like, if the alarm sets off, could my car, like, then not start?
Right.
And Google did say, yes, it might not.
Damn.
But then the next day, I had to get up at the butt crack of dawn for my dad to come pick me up, to drive me downtown, to then jump my car, which was a whole experience.
Yeah, waking up early sucks.
And then, so his jumper cables are really old. I nearly caught on fire.
Yeah, see, electrical stuff like that makes me nervous.
I wasn't even touching the jumper cables. I was just watching him. And when he, like, went to connect one of them, sparks flew and hit me. And, like, I singed.
I don't like that. That makes me nervous. Oh, God, I don't like that.
And then, so I was like, well, you know, my grandfather sent me with some jumper cables. You want to try those? And my grandfather specifically sent me with these jumper cables because they were extra long. They were shorter than my father's.
Oh my god. That's crazy.
But finally we got started, and then I got to go spend $220 on a new battery.
That hurts my soul. Cars are so expensive for no reason.
And I was really pissed because I just got a new battery last year. It's always when I'm in the office. Because last year I had to go into the office one morning, and I was like in my garage and my battery died.
Yeah.
And luckily my grandparents were just getting home from a doctor's appointment. So I was able to cancel my Uber, and my grandfather drove me in, and he went and got me a battery while I was at work. But this time, it really sucked because, and like my grandparents were like, call AAA, and I was like, I'm not paying for AAA to get into the parking garage.
Right. That's a lot. Ain't nobody got time for that. But at the end of the day, it did all work out.
Yes,
There's a new battery in your car.
There is a new battery in my car.
And you are mobile again.
Yes, and this morning, because my car does this thing where it's left out in the cold overnight.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have a garage at home, but I am currently staying at my aunt's cat and dog sitting while they're away. And so I park in their driveway, and this morning I woke up and I was like, oh shit, every time I stay over here and it gets cold, I get to this one particular stop sign and my car stalls. So I had to like drive around their block 3 times to make sure my car warmed up before I went anywhere this morning.
That's spooky. Well, any more on that?
No, do you want to get into pop culture
Yes.
corner?
Paul's pop culture corner for this week. So, if you've been on the internet this week, you know Shawn Mendes has been slowly easing us into him coming out. I swear to Jesus, if he comes out, and I spent so goddamn long defending him, saying, no guys, he's straight. I am going to be so mad because I am going to have to backtrack. And I thought he was going to be this guy, but like, oh yeah, straight guys can be feminine too, guys. And then I'm going to have to be like, never mind, guys, he actually is gay. All you guys were right.
Well, hang on. He might not be gay. He might be bisexual.
Yeah.
He might be pan.
He's still figuring it out.
I get major pan vibes off of him.
I could see that.
Now, when he does come out, I do expect you on air to eat a hat.
And that is something I will not allow to happen, guys.
Angela, go on Amazon and find the biggest, ugliest hat and order it for Paul to eat.
Oh, I thought you wore that hat yesterday.
You're not even mentioning me talking to a producer we don't have.
Well, Angela's our producer. Get into it, guys. But, like I said, that is something I will not allow to happen. We are going to keep this man in the closet. I have started a change.org petition, and there's already 3 signatures. Me, Camila Cabello, and the guy who said the water's turning the frogs gay. So, go ahead, go sign my petition to keep Shawn Mendes in the closet 2024, because I will not backtrack for any man. And speaking of which, along those same lines, I had another topic for Paul's Pop Culture Corner, but I forget it for right now. So we're going to move on to the alcohol, and if I remember it, we might have to pop back into Paul's Pop Culture Corner, because I had another topic. Maybe I'll remember it soon, but let's get into the alcohol, okay? Today, we are drinking Dark Horse, the rosé from Dark Horse. And the description on the back reads, a true winemaker's wine, we founded Dark Horse with a bold mission. Use winemaking techniques typically reserved for expensive wines on a wine that our friends could actually afford. This is the poor man's wine, which I very much relate to. This is a wine for the people. They're doing this for us, okay? Our rosé is fermented cool to achieve the perfect pale color and bright aroma of wild strawberries, watermelon, and juicy peach, and a crisp, dry finish. And I know DJ knows a lot about a dry finish, so I feel like he will like this wine a lot.
Yes, I have faked a couple orgasms in my lifetime.
Yes, we've all been there with that dry finish. So, why don't we get into today's ASMR? What is this called? You screw
Crack.
Crack. The crack, yes.
Let's crack into it.
Okay. Ooh, she smells good. Ooh. Second ASMR pour.
Ooh.
Okay, I remember what I was going to talk about for Pop Culture Corner, but let's try the wine first.
I was going to put it down. Huh.
She's dry. I thought rosés were supposed to be, like, sweet.
Some are sweet. It's not very, very dry.
Oh, is the wine glass cracked?
No. That's like from the
Oh,
Cabernet
I thought it
Sauvignon
was
last
cracked.
week. That's from the Cabernet Sauvignon.
Oh, well. Thoughts, opinions. How many grapes out of 5?
You know, I'm going to give it a 3. Mm-hmm. It's not bad. It's good, not great.
It's good, not great.
Yeah. The second sip was not as dry as the first one. It does have that very clean, light taste.
It does. It's very clean, very light tasting.
But I mean, I've had better rosé.
Yeah, I've had better too. I'm gonna go with the 3 as well. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good rosé. So if you're trying to have a good old party, you need a cheap rosé to have your friends over, or whatever, for a good old Uno night, board game, whatever you're trying to do with your friends.
No, this is very good for like a party where you just like are trying to do everything on the cheap.
Naked Twister. There you go, kids. Naked Twister wine.
Now, what's this part of Pop Culture Corner?
Speaking of straight men that I have beef with for the week, Charlie Puth. Where is this new goddamn album? Okay, I was promised an album in 2024, but where is it? Here it is. We're in November. Not even a whisper of a new Charlie Puth album. We got that new Hero song way back when Taylor Swift released Tortured Poets. But I need a new album, Charlie, okay? And you know what? People often say, be the art you wish to see in the world. But I don't have the voice of an angel and an ass that won't quit. So Charlie, we need you to do this for us. Do this for the people. Drop that fucking album.
I have a hot take about Charlie Puth.
Do I have to tie my hair back in a ponytail? Are we about to fight?
Maybe. I was just saying, he's a bit of a baiter. Mm-hmm. Like how he kind of baits the queer community.
I guess you could say he is kind of a masturbator.
Yes. And now he's baiting us with his music.
Exactly. I have listened to the 2018 album so many times entitled Charlie Puth. But I cannot
Wait, wasn't he our first official Hot Guy of the Month because he announced that he was going to release an album?
I think so. Yes, we did talk about. And look at us looking stupid, just like when we keep clowning over Reputation.
Yeah.
So Charlie, give us the album. Do it for the people, okay? Lord knows I love Charlie, but I can't keep listening to the same goddamn songs. I need new music, okay? If Taylor Swift can release 27 new albums in 2 years, you can at least give us one, okay? All right, DJ, do you have anything to add to that?
No, he's a masturbator.
He is a masturbator. And you know what?
And I think that's the meme.
The meme for this week is Charlie Puth being a masturbator.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe the change.org petition that will sign to get Charlie Puth to release this next album. But other than that, DJ, why don't I tell you a story?
Okay.
There is one question that has haunted humanity from the beginning of time. Only those with the bravest of hearts dares to ask this question, and the knowledge is said to drive one insane. So, are you a seeker of truth, or does the infernal eye's gaze not shine upon you? This question whispered by the baleful queen into her followers' ears, and the answer radiates from their pupils. If you dare to know the question, come sit a spell, and I will share it with you. How exactly is the sausage made? The answer known to few haunts many, and today we are going to explore the haunted sausage of Mongolia. as we tell the tale of the Mongolian Death Worm and dare to know, how exactly was the death worm made? Thoughts?
I need a minute.
Why?
No, I hate
See?
this. I hate this so much. Stop.
See, that's one thing about DJ. I deeply apologize for what this episode is about to be because I know DJ is about to make all of the dick jokes, the sausage jokes.
I hate this story so much. I don't like worms. I don't like snakes. I don't like... No.
Well, that's not what I read about you on the bathroom stall. We all know you're no stranger to a snake, okay? But don't worry, guys.
Okay.
I am going to handle this story with decorum and class in a way that it deserves. Okay?
Since when?
Since this morning when I decided to handle this story with decorum and class like the people deserve.
And I will try not to.
Because this is a very serious story. I mean, it affected many people. Okay, so let's get into the Mongolian death worm for a bit. So, the death worm is said to live in the Mongolian Desert.
Where is Mongolia?
The Gobi... I'm getting into that, bitch!
Okay.
It's in the Gobi Desert in Mongolia, okay? And Mongolia is actually on the northern border of China.
Okay.
And it's right near Russia.
I don't know geometry. I'm sorry.
That's my joke, bitch! That's my joke. Okay, so, the death worm's native name is Olgoy Corky, and I am so sorry again. I really did try to look up how that is pronounced, but again, I'm awful at pronouncing things, and I promise I did look up to try and learn how it's pronounced. But we'll put in the comments how it's spelled, and you can try and pronounce it yourselves. So this actually translates to intestine worm.
No.
And it's given this name because of its red color, and due to the fact that it's actually the size of a human intestine. And for those at home who don't know, the human intestine is actually 15 feet in length. So if you consider an average man is like 6 feet, DJ, are you gonna let me tell this goddamn story, or are you just gonna throw up the whole time?
I might throw up.
So an average man is 6 feet in length, right? So picture that. It's about 2.5 men. Not to be confused with that tragic comedy that CBS made us endure with Charlie Sheen.
That was actually a really good joke.
Thank you. It just kind of came to me. So the death worm can be seen mostly in the months of June and July because it hibernates most of the year because it refuses to get off its lazy ass and get a job. Okay. The death worm is said to have corrosive yellow saliva.
Oh.
I just said yellow like my ancestors. Yellow saliva. And it's actually said to be able to produce an electric shock, kind of like an eel does.
Ew.
Which I think is kind of weird. Like, why is this worm electric? Why are eels electric? Who knows?
Well, aren't eels not actually electric?
It's electric. Wait, are they actually not electric?
I don't think they're actually electric. I just think they kind of like...
What do you mean? Okay, you look that up and I'll get into the next part. So, legend has it that when the death worm is attacking, it raises its body out of the sand and inflates, filling itself with that poison saliva.
Oh my god, they are actually electric.
It's electric! So again, the death worm, when it's attacking, it hides under the sand, right? Mm-hmm. And then it pulls itself out of the sand and then fills itself with that corrosive yellow...
saliva.
Yep, that it spits on its prey.
Ew.
And the saliva is said to be so corrosive that it actually kills the prey instantly. And another thing about the death worm... Go ahead.
So, if this saliva is corrosive...
Yes.
How corrosive is it? Did you find out, like, does it just, like, eat through all of the skin and muscle matter instantly?
I imagine, because it said that it kills the prey instantly.
So does the...
Another interesting thing, though, is that you can die just by touching the death worm as well. So if it touches you, like, the story goes that The witnesses, basically, they saw their friend get touched by the death worm or their whatever, and that they heard a scream and then the person just dropped. So even the touch of the death worm is said to kill you instantly.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what does the death worm usually prey on? Of course, it preys on livestock, animals, people sometimes, and also it likes to prey. It's not just carnivorous, it also eats a plant, mainly the goyo plant. And now, if I know you're curious, the goyo plant actually tastes like banana, but it has a texture kind of like celery.
Ew.
Yeah, it does sound weird, right?
I like celery and I like bananas, but like, ew.
Together, yeah. I'm really not that big a fan of celery. Maybe with peanut butter or whatever.
Do you like ants on a log?
No, because I hate raisins.
Oh.
I think raisins are awful.
Do you like craisins?
That's a little too crazy for me. I don't want to get that wild, DJ.
Jesus Christ, that was a bad joke.
I know it's a Saturday, but a craisin? Oh my gosh. What next?
Do you ever just hate it here?
All the time. By the way, real quick shout out to our Explore merch. We are matching. Shout out Sam and Colby. Paranormal folks supporting paranormal folks.
I would like to make a plea to Sam and Colby.
Go ahead, the camera's yours.
Please save me from this Mongolian Death Worm. I'm so oaked out.
Honestly, just come visit Sam and Colby. We'd love to meet you guys. We stan. Obviously, we brought the $60 shirts, basically. But moving on. So, it is said that the worm actually gets its red color from killing camels. And what it'll do is, once the camel is dead, it'll climb up inside the camel and lay its eggs.
Oh, no! No, hang on, no!
Okay, so while DJ has its mental breakdown...
Did you just call me it?
Sorry, that was a slip of the tongue. I didn't mean to call you it. Now, cousin it, though.
Okay, so its red color is just, it is covered in blood, that dried blood, okay.
Yeah, it's said from when it's laying its eggs inside the camel,
okay.
It basically absorbs the blood, and that's how it gets its red colors, from absorbing the blood from camels where it lays its eggs.
Okay, I need to say something to the camera again.
Yes.
Paul told me, he forewarned me about this, and I warned him that of all of the paranormal podcasts that I listen to, 3 of them have covered this, and I have not made it through a single one of those episodes. So I am fighting for my life right now. And
if the rest of the episode ends up just being me, maybe that's a gift for the people.
Okay, I'm ready.
So, since Mongolia was under Soviet control until about 1990, little is known about the death worm until then, especially in Western culture. Actually, the first mention of the worm in Western culture came from Roy Chapman Andrews in his book On the Trail to Ancient Man. While he never came across the worm itself, he tells stories of how many locals told him the story of the worm lurking beneath the sands of the desert that would actually kill animals and their owners. So, and this will be a running thing, that people will try and search for the worm, but they won't actually see the worm themselves. They'll just hear a ton of stories from the locals.
Why are you looking for this thing? Why?
Well, they're cryptozoologists, you know?
Find Bigfoot. Find the Yeti. Find Mothman.
Find me a boyfriend.
Yes.
Find me a will to live.
Paul, you're asking for a lot.
Honestly, at this point, Jesus. Here I am spending my Friday night looking up the Mongolian Death Worm. Meanwhile...
It's better than me. I sat at my aunt's house and I got drunk off gin and tonics while watching Netflix by myself.
Hot! What did you watch?
The Diplomat.
Oh, I don't know about her. I'm not gonna know about her either. I'm not watching that shit.
I'm glad you made a joke. I thought I was just gonna get a judgy look, like you couldn't like watch a rom-com.
No, honestly, The Diplomat is very you. That's very your speed. It tracks, okay? And if there is a man that would like to sit there and watch political dramas with DJ, dial 999 because it's a good time. So let's get into our next explorer trying to find the worm. Why don't we? Now, Ivan McCurl, who is actually one of the leading detectives who investigated the Loch Ness monster. So he's actually traveled around the world looking for a lot of what's the word? Cryptids.
Kids.
I don't know.
From Scotland.
I don't think he's Scottish, no.
Oh, okay. He had a nickname, and you said Loch Ness, and I thought he was from Scotland.
No. I'm not exactly aware exactly where he is from, but he travels around the world trying to find cryptids. He's a very notable cryptozoologist. And so what he would do is he would go to Mongolia, and he interviewed a lot of people, Mongolian people, and he decided, because there were so many stories and strange deaths that occurred in the Gobi Desert to the Mongolian people, that this worm had to be real, that something is going on. Again, he didn't actually find the Mongolian worm himself, even though he took 3 trips. So on the first 2 trips, came up with nothing. Now, on the 3rd trip, he would go, and he would be warned by a Buddhist monk that he needed to leave the area right now or something awful was going to happen and he wouldn't make it back. Now, that night, he would have a nightmare about the Mongolian Death Worm and wake up with boils on his back that were filled with blood. Now, unfortunately, that would be the scariest thing that would happen to him, and that would be the closest thing.
I'm pretty scared.
He would come to the Mongolian worm. Now,
I have trypophobia.
What's that?
It's like the fear of like weird, like holes and weird like pus-filled bubbles.
That's gross. You wouldn't like Dr. Pimple Popper then?
No, I do like Dr. Pimple Popper.
Conquering your fears, one pimple at a time, I guess. So let's actually. I am so sorry, guys. I don't know why I can't fucking talk today. We'll get there.
When can you ever actually talk?
Exactly. It's just a lot of stuttering and a lot of wondering. See, that's the thing. My mind wanders, and I think that's what distracts me from trying to say what I was actually going to say. Okay, let's get back into Ivan. One thing to note about Ivan is, so you remember how the worm lurks beneath the sand, right?
Unfortunately.
So he would actually try and blow up the sand. So he would go in and set off explosions to try to bring the sand, like the worm above the sand. Now, did this work? No, he didn't.
Maybe he killed it. Hopefully he killed it.
Maybe.
I hope he killed it.
Who knows? So, in another expedition in 2005 to try and discover the death worm, this group of people covered thousands of miles of the Gobi Desert.
And isn't the Gobi Desert like the largest desert in the world?
I don't think so.
Or is it the most, like, dangerous?
See, the Gobi Desert, it's a very hot desert. And one interesting thing about the desert, too, is a lot of it isn't actually sand. A lot of it is just solid rock, which I thought was really interesting. Another interesting thing about the Gobi Desert is that is where the most wealthy part of Mongolia resides, like the most wealthy towns and things.
In the desert?
Yeah.
Why?
Bitch, I don't know. That's what the article said.
Okay.
Girl.
Is it from all the death worm tourism?
You know, that's interesting too that you bring that up, because...
Is there death worm tourism?
No, not really. And actually, the guy leading this expedition, he would actually interview people in the city about the death worm. And actually, a lot of people he interviewed in the city about the death worm did not know about the death worm. It was only until he got into the desert that people really knew about the death worm and knew about this story and the culture. So I think that just talks a lot about the folklore of this, that the native peoples of this land, how intertwined this story is with them, and that how the newfangled people in the city, they don't really know much about the worm, so maybe the story got lost to them in the city.
Maybe.
Or maybe just because it wasn't that much of a threat to them that they didn't know about the death worm as much. But hey, who am I to judge? And actually, in this expedition in 2005, where they covered thousands of miles of desert, they actually tried to do the opposite of what Ivan did. They would actually try and flood the desert. They would dam streams and things to try and like make the worm come above water and try and like drown the worm out. So they did the opposite of what the previous expedition before them did.
So, hot take.
Okay.
Idiots are looking for this thing.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Also, I finally found that guy's name in my notes. The person who led this expedition, his name was Richard Freeman. And another interesting story that Mr. Freeman would find out when he was interviewing the locals is that someone told him that they actually killed one of the death worms by throwing a rock at it. But the Russian government took the body of the death worm and has it lost somewhere in one of the Russian museums. So apparently...
That kind of checks, actually.
Yeah. So maybe the body of the Mongolian death worm is in Russia. Spooky stuff.
That thing got burnt, like with the Soviet records.
Wait, say that one more time.
Like when the Soviet Union fell, the Communist Party just like started to burn a bunch of stuff.
I did not know that. But it makes sense. Like they want to cover the evidence or whatever of what atrocities they probably committed.
A lot.
Now, it isn't just the locals telling these stories. Apparently the Prime Minister of Mongolia even endorses the death worm and says that it's real. He believes in the spooky sausage in the sand. You ever had a sandy sausage, DJ?
No.
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 Girl, you're really trying your best to power through this. I didn't think this would affect you that much.
I warned you. I literally warned you.
I will say, I am a little disappointed because so far there's been a surprising lack of dick jokes. So let's pull that around in this last half and bring it to the people. Give the people what they're asking for when we're talking about the death worm, okay? So, another thing to consider is in 1923, they actually found dinosaur eggs in the Gobi Desert, right? So it's said that maybe, since they found dinosaur eggs there, that maybe the Mongolian death worm is actually a dinosaur that survived the area. So it's something left from prehistoric times where the dinosaurs were. Something left over from that time period.
Some prehistoric dick.
Ooh, that prehistoric dick. Oh my gosh, that sounds crazy. That sounds like it goes wild. So... as with all things I like to discuss, let's talk about the Mongolian death worm in the media. So in 2007, Destination Truth tried to locate the Mongolian death worm.
Is it called Destination Truth?
Yeah.
I swear you called it something different the last time you did this.
No, it's called Destination
Oh,
Truth.
okay.
Yep, they tried to locate the death worm. Surprise, surprise, they couldn't find the death worm.
Is that the one with Josh Gates?
Yes. Now,
Daddy Josh Gates.
they did hear many of the same stories from
I would like to
locals.
ride his death worm.
Honestly, he was pretty cute. And honestly, he's adventurous. Get into that. Now, spoiler alert, like I said, Destination Truth didn't find anything. Nothing interesting happened in the episode. What can you do? Probably the most interesting thing that happened in the episode was getting to see how pretty Mongolia is. Now, of course, like all good things, people have to ruin it. In 2010, there was a Mongolian Death Worm movie.
Oh, I saw that one. It came out from Playboy Network.
Bitch, shut up. Oh
You
God.
asked for dick jokes.
Well, this one had a 14% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I didn't know that they could go that low.
Right. See, this is the same thing as the Bunny Man movie.
Well, also,
like,
wait.
shit.
Well, also, like, okay, isn't. I mean, wouldn't it just be like a knockoff of Tremors, but in Mongolia?
You know what? That makes sense because what exactly is Tremors? Tremors is basically the death worm.
Yeah.
I love that Tremors movie.
Oh, I hate it.
And also like Dune, like some people compare
I hate
the
it.
Mongolian death worm to the
No.
death worms that are in Dune.
No.
I've never seen Dune, but
I won't because of the sandworms.
you know, I might just for Timothy Chalamet's Sandy Dunes. Maybe they'll make an appearance.
I would ride Timothy Chalamet's Sandworm.
Oh, yes, for sure. Timothy Chalamet is very attractive.
I would also like to try that peach from Call Me By Your Name.
Oh my gosh.
Same.
And finally, you guys can see my Mongolian Death Worm on my Twitter account at David Henry puts sweet and sour on my back 69. Shout out to the new Wizards of Waverly Place remake.
Wait. I have pop culture here.
Okay, what?
Did you hear? So they have that new Wizards of Waverly Place coming on.
Yes.
And they did not have Dan Benson, who played Zeke Bitterman.
Oh, yeah, the drama between the two. Yeah.
And so, like, David Henry, like, made some snide comment during an interview about, like...
him not being allowed to be around children or something.
Yeah. And Dan Benson clapped back. He was like, well, I guess David's just mad because I'm the hot one now.
Right. I mean, he is. And for the record, shaming sex workers, that's crazy in 2024, David Henry. Get your shit together. Excuse me. I'm so sorry for the listeners who had to hear that. But...
and it's really sad because, like, Dan Benson has been, like... he's been, like, campaigning for a Wizards of Waverly Place reboot.
yeah, he really wanted to be in that. And so what if he has an OnlyFans? Like, hey, he's doing something, okay? We're not shaming sex work anymore in 2024.
No.
Right.
Dan Benson, I would also ride his Death Worm.
Right. And, you know, there's nothing to protest anymore about OnlyFans because DJ deleted his. So, like, hey, we're good to go now. The many terrors of the internet are gone. So...
I've converted it to a Fansly. You can now find it at www.fansly.com/ravetwink6969420 forever.
Are you talking about fans only?
No, there's like a site called Fansly.
Fansly? I've never heard of that one. That sounds crazy.
I know, that's why I picked it.
Oh.
I was like, what's the most, like, least known of these?
Oh, see, you're trying to educate the children.
Yes.
Get them hooked on new sites. So let's get into some theories, okay? So scientists theorize that since the Gobi Desert is so hot that it would be impossible for a worm-like creature to survive, and that it would actually be more like a burrowing lizard with small arms and legs who would actually use its legs to burrow down, right?
Ew. No. What about a snake? Could it be a snake?
Yeah, I was actually going to say that because there are some, like, obviously there's snakes in the Gobi Desert. So people think that, like, in the past, someone maybe got attacked by one of the snakes that are in the Gobi Desert. And then the story kind of just went from there and it became this fantastical story, like how most urban legends do.
And also, as much as I hate this story, couldn't it, like... underneath the sand is going to be cooler than on top of the sand.
Right.
And so it could... Ooh, hello. It started to go to asleep.
Yeah.
And couldn't it, like, just, like, burrow in the sand and only come out at night? Like, be nocturnal?
Maybe. That's a good theory, actually. I never heard of that. And you know what else, like, kind of makes my brain turn a little bit? Is, like, how do worms actually, like, burrow? Like, how do they move through the soil?
I don't want to think about
They
it.
don't have, like, arms or legs, so, like, how are worms doing that?
They just wiggle and push themselves.
Like, what's going on?
Stop.
Like,
Stop.
have you ever tried to dig with a shovel before? Because that's kind of hard, but, like, these small-ass worms can do it. And you know what's interesting, too, about the death worm? Is that a lot of reports, like, say they don't have, like, mouths, which, like, how is it spitting corrosive, like, yellow stuff at us if it doesn't have a mouth? Like, what is going on? They say it doesn't have a head or a mouth, and, like...
it has a shooter hole.
Exactly.
Like a penis.
But wouldn't that hole just be the mouth? Like, what are we doing?
It has a blowhole.
It just has a blowhole. It's just a hole. Kind of like you. Just a hole.
That's what they write in the Lucky Stalls.
Yes. Now, again, the scientists do think that the worm probably has scales as well, and that it probably comes up more during the rainy season, and when people see it, it's probably more shiny, and that's why they think it's a worm, because when the scales are wet, they're reflective, basically. So they think that's why people think it's more of a worm than a lizard. It's because most people probably see it when it's wet during the rainy season.
So it looks slimy.
Exactly.
So it's a snake, which is another thing I hate.
Exactly. Well, more of a lizard, because, again, scientists think it would probably have, like, tiny arms and legs. It's more of like a skink lizard type animal. You don't seem pleased with that.
No.
Oh my god.
I said it's a snake, it's a snake.
Well, DJ, you're in luck because most scientists do agree that the Mongolian death worm most likely does not exist.
Hallelujah! I can sleep.
And that if it did exist, it would have been discovered by now.
Thank Christ.
But also, someone could say that about Bigfoot or the Loch Ness Monster. So who's to say?
You wash your mouth out with soap.
See, I'm making it a good point, though, because who's to say? Because there's so many things, like in our oceans and deep parts of the woods that haven't been discovered yet. Who's to say that it just hasn't been discovered yet and it's just some sort of lizard or worm creature that hasn't been discovered yet, and that the added things of the corrosive, like saliva and the electric, are just things that people added on as folklore, and that unfortunately did turn into Evermore. Now, TJ.
Yes.
Quick question for you.
Yes.
Smash or pass? The Mongolian...
Pass! Pass!
You have to let me finish, bitch! Gosh, I know you hate for your partners to finish, and you actually strive for them not to because you don't like to see other people satisfied. But the Mongolian Death Worm slowly crawling up your...
Stop! No.
Well, guys...
Oh, Jesus Christ, don't do that to me.
Well, guys, I'm gonna have to pass the Mongolian Death Worm too, because that is not my thing. And unfortunately, guys, I do think this is just another piece of folklore that did lead into Evermore, and it's just another fun story. Well, not really a fun story, because the people of the Gobi Desert are really terrified by it, but hey, it's still something fun to think about, and probably a good inspiration for many movies, hopefully many better movies to come. Any final thoughts, TJ?
We're just going to talk about something totally unrelated to this because I'm so ogged out right now.
Oh, because you don't want it crawling...
No! Stop! Stop! Stop!
So you don't have any...
Stop!
No final thoughts about the Mongolian Death Worm?
No, but I have many thoughts about Shawn Mendes. Most of them on clean.
Yeah. Honestly, and I'm probably going to regret saying this, but Shawn Mendes is very cute. And if he does come out, that would probably be more of a win for the community than anything. But for now, go sign my change.org petition to keep this man in the closet. Just so I don't have to eat a hat on live on the pod.
And please, go to my GoFundMe. We're going to find the biggest, ugliest hat possible for Paul to eat. No, do you know what I'm going to do? Okay, if he actually comes out, I am going to find a cake that is shaped like a hat and make you eat the hat.
I hate it here. Do you see? He's been bullying me all episode.
This episode has been nothing but a victimization towards me. It has been a brutal and unprovoked attack. Premeditated.
See, guys, this is why we shouldn't take bottoms seriously when they talk. Nothing but lies and slander.
You sound like
Dan.
Dan.
You see this? Lies and slander. And I hope you guys comment down below, showing support for me and my many causes that I brought forth to you this episode. Please comment down below, and please consider donating to my change.org-keepthatstraightmaninthecloset.com.
Speaking of causes, this month we are still shouting out UNICEF for their help in Gaza to help the victims of the genocide that is going on there. To donate, you can go to www.unicef.com.
And that is actually a very serious cause that you really should consider donating for. I know I said a lot of jokes this episode, but for real, consider donating and helping out because there's a lot of crazy shit going on in this world and a lot of people do need help.
And be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to us. Text us, and all of our social media is down below, as is our email if you'd like to submit your personal stories. Paul, where can they find you?
You can find me at my personal TikTok and Instagram at Paulember, Paulember. And as usual, guys, it's not delivery. It's DiGiorno.
And if you'd like to follow me, you can do so on Instagram and on TikTok at TheRealDeejPowers. And if you'd like to write me a love letter, address it anywhere but Mongolia.
Damn. Anywhere but Mongolia? There's plenty of places in Mongolia that aren't the desert, girl.
I can't risk it. If I see this thing, I'm just going to drop dead.
Damn, that's crazy.
Drop dead of fear.
Hey, I'll take a free flight to Mongolia. If you want to fly me out Mongolia, I'll be your ambassador.
Wait, I do want to go see the Mongolian horses.
Oh, yes. Kind of like the horse I have on my bottle.
Yes.
Period. Because I totally did not...
I thought you got it because, like a dark horse coming out of nowhere, the Mongolian Death Worm sneaks up on you.
Period. Exactly. And not to be confused with Dark Horse by Katy Perry, which is a very, very bad song, and I hate that song.
I love that song.
I hate that song. That's probably one of the worst songs she's ever done.
What do you think about E.T.?
E.T. is a classic. Y'all need to get into E.T., okay? That song is a bop and a vibe. Katy Perry does have quite a few bops, okay? She might be in her flop era, but OG Katy Perry, she's the doll and the diva. You can't deny Teenage Dream, bop, bangers, vibes. And with that, do you have anything else to say?
Nope, that's all she wrote. So remember, guys, until next time, keep your crips tight.
And your corks loose. Bye!
Slither.
What the
Slither.
What are you doing?
Slither.
Stop!
You were the one who brought up the death worm. Slither.
Stop.